them up at the end by putting them in the last few levels of their characters through Fandelver and below.
Ooh.
It's gonna end creepy.
DMs are such sweethearts. They all
Hmm?
just have our best interests in mind.
Yes.
They just want to
Sure.
see us learn and grow as players.
Whether you
Where's
like
the
it or
fun?
not.
Where's the fun if there's not a little bit of danger?
That's right.
To quote Tyler Durden, I will
Are we
drag you through this
adventurers
kicking.
or are we all just, playing in a
Right.
sandbox?
To quote Tyler Durden, I will drag you through this kicking and screaming, and in the end, you will thank me.
Well, folks, for those of you who don't know, we will be doing something very similar to Dungeons and Dragons this evening, but it is a slightly different framework that I have tailored specifically to focus on acting and improvisation, so we can help work on those voice acting skills. The game itself is called Voices and Choices. My name is Austin David Coffey. I am the production manager for Samurais of Sound, where you can kickstart your voice acting career. And I also love running role-playing games. So, Voices and Choices is very simple. You don't need anything except yourself. And if you have some dice, you can use those too, or you can just Google dice roller, and a little widget pops up, which can be very helpful. And that's what I'm going to be using if I need it. We got 2 people in the waiting room. Wonderful.
I think for this bit, I'm going to use my purple cat's eye dice.
I would like to apologize for not having a camera, but I am eating and I would not like to be gross on stream.
No worries. No worries.
Some people are.
You're engaging in an activity necessary for human survival? How could you?
Yes, I know. How dare I?
nerve.
Eating.
The audacity, sir.
I say.
Right? I never.
And on
Yes,
that
eating
note,
is
I should mention, because people have been wondering, you are welcome to participate in whatever capacity you feel comfortable. So if you just want to hang out and eat your cereal or whatever you want to do, and you just want to listen and find a moment to jump in, that's fine. You can also eat and play at the same time. Not saying you can't, but because I noticed last time people got a little nervous and they weren't sure how to jump in, and I don't want anyone to be pressured. This is a very low pressure environment. We are all here to make mistakes and be a little vulnerable, perhaps, and work on some character acting and have a little fun. So it's a supportive community. Yes, I see Eric's raising his hand.
I want to ask: is this completely improv, or will there be given sample scripts to act out?
Great question. So some people like to write little character backstories, and there will be an opportunity for that early on a silver platter for people who want to share a bit about their character in the form of a backstory. You don't have to have a character. You can make one up as you go along. So in that sense, you can think about it as improv. If you have a character, great. Try to stay consistent try to stay in the same character, I would say. But it's not strictly improv in the sense that I have a whole adventure that I'm going to be, presenting to the party. So
Well, we're not running a Strahd?
Is that the
Oh,
vampire
gods.
thing?
Yes.
Oh, was there no campaign associated with it?
We're not running Tomb of Annihilation.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Speed run, go.
So I
Right.
think that some of you may have missed the very beginning of what I'm saying, which is that although we will be making plenty of Dungeons & Dragons references, we don't have to be playing all Dungeons & Dragons in the strict mechanical sense. It's a much simpler version that you can kind of learn as you go, that I wrote, called Voices and Choices. And if you don't have dice, that's fine. You go to Google and you type in dice roller. All you're going to need is a D20 and a D6, or 20-sided die and a 6-sided die. And if all of this is sounding like complete gibberish to you, it's okay. Just sit back and just listen for a minute, and it'll all become hopefully less unclear as we go.
This world is so
Clearer.
beautiful.
What was that? Sorry.
This world you built is so beautiful, though, so it's going to be fun for everyone.
Oh, well, great.
Oh, you played before?
Yes, last time.
Ah, I think we have the same headphones.
Twinsies.
We,
It looks like it.
the plan is to play. Last session was our first Voices and Choices session, and the plan is to play every month on a Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. I will be done by 7:30, hopefully. Last time I was done by like 7:40. And if you need to take
For
a
all
break,
you listening, that's in Pacific time, by the way.
that is in Pacific time. Thank you. Yes, we are. I'm sitting in Strawberry Hill Studio tonight. We are just across the bridge from San Francisco, on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge, recovering from our holiday party that was on Saturday. And that is Pacific time. And I don't want to talk too much more about stuff that's not role playing, so I'm going to get right into it. But perhaps we should introduce ourselves in person, not in character, before we start. So a little bit about me. I'm Austin Coffey. I'm the production manager for Samurai Sound. I've probably mentioned a lot of this already. Voice actor, musician, composer, audio producer, game master. Been working at Samurai Sound / Strawberry Hill Studio for 4 years, and I have a lot of fun. Next, I think you can see the same order as me because I checked that setting in Zoom. So we have from top left to right, like you're reading, I see Dan.
Hi, I'm Dan. I've been sober for 4 years.
Hi, Dan.
Hi,
No,
Dan.
I am just getting into the voice acting scene. I have been running Dungeons and Dragons for, 8 years now. So I thought this was as good of a time to jump in and just try this out as good of a time as any. I figured why keep it to myself when I can try and go for the world.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on, Chris.
Right. Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Einspar. I've been a voice actor for off and on for about like 6 years now, but I've been doing like voices, accents, impressions, dialects since I was 6. I've been doing tabletop roleplay since I was 18. So I have a laundry list of characters and accents and it embedded in my head. My brain is not quiet by any stretch of the imagination. I also like moonlit naps and long sits in my chair. And yeah, I'm also, a gamer, console and PC. Recently recently moved to PC because I have a computer that can do it now. But yes,
Congratulations.
thank you. And in 2021, I won the Audioverse Award for Best Supporting Character in a New Production.
Wow. Congratulations.
Very
So-
nice, very nice.
That is
I'm happy about it.
fantastico to hear.
It's hanging on the outside of my boot. But yeah, that's about it.
Wonderful. Laura, hi.
Cool. Hi, good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
I'm Laura. I am also a Californian. I'm based just in the greater vicinity of LA. I have been a voice actor for just over 15 years. You can check out my IMDb for the laundry list. Most recently, I have been in a video game that was released, which I cannot talk about because of the strike. But if you would like to check it out, I would love it if you did. And you can see the name probably at the top of my credits on IMDb. Yes, that is how
I
I
would-
get around
about to ask
mentioning
that.
it, but not mentioning it.
On
And yeah.
that note, sorry to interrupt you. We should do like a little link kind of like drop. Can we do that at the end around 7:20? Everyone kind of share a little bit about, a little plug of sorts.
Oh, pluggies. Pluggies are
By the
great.
way, I also should have mentioned that I am East Coast Philadelphia native.
Wonderful.
Second East Coaster, nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Laura, I did interrupt you. I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah. world travelers, all of us. Yeah, I am less of a tabletop gamer, but I love the watching of it, and that is why I'm trying to get more involved in it, because the play concept and the idea of expanding your repertoire and building your characters, that is what we do as voice actors. And so expanding upon that and getting better at the improvisation and the world building is what I'd like to do more of. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Hi, Eric.
Hey, how's it going?
There you go.
I'm Eric Grasso, by the way. Do you see my video or?
Yes.
We see your video.
Yes.
Okay, good. Letting you all know that I'm a voice actor. I've been doing voice acting since 2018. Well, 2018 was where I had no experience at all and just hopped right into the voiceover community with no experience, no acting skills whatsoever. And then throughout time, I eventually had to learn from other VAs about what voice acting is, and I gradually build up my voice acting experience as years pass by. First of all, I've been doing some fan stuff, mainly doing Sonic the Hedgehog, since it's my dream role to voice Sonic for Sega someday, and I've also been cast as Sonic the Hedgehog in some fan projects at the beginning of my career. And then around 2022 or 2023 was when I was finally cast in some indie projects.
Wonderful.
Congratulations.
And I'm always looking forward to find any new opportunities to help my career, well, to, improve my voiceover skills.
Well, Eric, let me tell you, you've come to the right place. That's kind of what we're all about. So I'm sure that you'll learn more and more about Samurai the Sound and who we are as you go. But
right now I'm just using my phone, but I got a computer jack which is connected to from my condenser mic to my interface, which is connected to my phone. So I'm still using my condenser mic.
Wow.
That's good.
Well done.
But
Wait, hold on. Did I get that? Hold on. Did we hear that right? What was it? Condenser mic?
Through Jack.
What kind of Rube Goldberg setup do you have over there, my guy?
What condenser mic I have? It's TZ Audio Products Stellar XR. I mean,
No.
X2.
How you got it hooked up?
From your phone.
Oh, how do I-
The question.
his interface.
Oh, my
Is
interface?
it an
Yeah.
iRig?
You see, I have my microphone, which is, I got my Focusrite, which is, it's USB. It's connected to an adapter, which connects to my phone.
Wow. That is so cool. Focusrite.
It's
into
the
phone.
adapter. The adapter was what we were
I
messing
spoke
on
to
that
Chuck
chain.
Duran today, and we were about to discuss about having a demo reel produced, but he told me that I need to get a laptop, at least a laptop computer, instead of using my phone, so we can get the demo reel.
Who was the consultation with?
Oh, Chuck Duran, who's one of the best demo reel producers in the industry. We had a talk together, and he told me that I need to get a laptop, and I gotta use Audacity, and the current DAW I'm using is audiomass.com or Audiolab on my phone, which I use to record with my condenser mic connected to my phone. Well, condenser mic connected to my interface connected to my phone. You know what I mean.
Right. Yeah. Audacity is a free cross-platform DAW, so that's certainly good advice. Audacity is very easy to use. I recommend it to people. In recent years, there's been some updates to it that make it pretty viable as a digital audio.
Yeah,
workstation.
it's fairly powerful if you know what you're doing.
So,
I see.
And if you
I've
need
been
a
using it
second-
since day one.
Oh,
My
perfect.
old computer is running on Windows 7, and it won't update to it Windows 10 or Windows 11
Right.
because it's old and it's slow.
baby.
So that's why I bought a new computer.
Well, at the
There you
end of
go.
the session, I'll drop a link to our consultation calendar. If you need a second opinion, we can assess your situation and produce your demo reel for you as well as another option.
Right, thank you.
And Lynn, hello.
Hello, I'm Lynn. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. Been doing voice acting for about 1 year. Booked a few roles. Yeah, still like taking classes and stuff.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah, in terms of D&D, I'm pretty new at this, so yeah.
No
It says
worries.
D&D, but it's not really super.
Yeah, well,
D-
with
D&D.
role playing stuff, I'm new at
I
general.
Fair
love
enough, fair enough,
Vancouver.
fair
I considered moving there. It's another expensive place to live instead of LA.
Yeah, the frying
But
pan into the fire, huh?
yeah, right. But the weather,
Well, more like out of the frying pan and into the freezer because it's Canada.
different kind of
Uh,
different kind of temperature issues. But God, I love that city. It's for the food and the art scene. Love that area. Hi, sorry, totally off topic.
Welcome, Lynn. And hello, Chris. Welcome back.
Hello, hi, my name is Chris Citojo. I'm based in Houston, Texas. I'm primarily a theater actor, so that's my primary job. I've been trying to get into voice acting. I've been like independently voice acting for a while now, but I've really started to buckle down and turn it into another career path. Uh, been an actor for like, I mean, if you're counting college, like going on 8 years now. I just like acting. I like characters. I like world building. I got my first start with role playing tabletop with Samurais of Sound, and I'd say I'm here for the ride.
Wonderful, wonderful. On the subject of world building, as this is a highly improvisational environment, feel free to suggest quite a bit. You know, if something is directly interfering with something I have planned, there might be some finagling. But this is your canvas. This is your sandbox. So definitely just feel free to play. Right? Yes, I see Chris has a hand.
One thing I didn't see on the website was the subject of races or sapient species in the world. Does it really matter?
That is so funny because Laura had the exact same very valid point. And I have since updated the website. And when I say since, I mean like since 20 minutes ago. Right before I let you all in.
That explains why I didn't see it.
So, but to answer your second question, no, it doesn't matter. You can be human. You can be any race you would normally find in Dungeons and Dragons. You can be any race except for the Game Master race. And
Gotcha.
well, there goes the weekend plans.
Right? Had it all blocked out and everything.
So, and you know, yeah, I would say try to keep it simple. You know, you don't want to be like a magical caterpillar person.
Oh no, orc.
But there goes my second weekend plans.
I'm so ticked off that I'm molting.
And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, think Lord of the Rings. Humans, dwarves live in mountains. Elves live in the forest. Gnomes live in little cottages in the woods, and they build things.
Or underground.
Or in the ground.
And the massive leaf lovers.
What?
The leaf lovers.
Yes, the leaf lovers.
Now we know who's playing the dwarf.
Can I get a rock and stone?
I don't know, can you?
And on that note, we are finding ourselves, as I pull up my notes here, seated in the Temple of Vocalis. This is a cavernous amphitheater carved deep into the mountainside at the heart of the large city-state of Albularia. Albularia is sort of the seat of power for the organization that I'm assuming you're all a part of for the purposes of this adventure, called the Order of Echoes. It's a peacekeeping organization that has its roots all across Vocalis, which is the world or the continent. And this temple that you're seated at, which is in the heart of the city, you're in the upper tiers of this, cavernous amphitheater that's sort of extending out below you. And these tiers are typically reserved for members of the Order of Echoes. Around you, other members called Echolites, or the, kind of entry tier members of the organization, which I'm assuming for the purposes of this adventure you all are Echolites. Other members are gathering. And this amphitheater, the acoustics are such that it's just magnifying every slight murmur that you hear into this, clear kind of resonant sound. The acoustics are quite astounding. And as everyone's sort of gathering together, there's this gnome who's sort of weaving through these steep rows of, chairs, and he's offering each of you a drink. And it's sort of, he hands it to you in this, clear glass, and before, balancing his tray of other drinks and swinging on over to the next player. And before you, there's a platform. Before you and sort of lower down, there's this platform with this podium. And this podium is partially obstructing the view further down below the amphitheater. You can't really see the deepest pit. This podium is sort of covering up the cavern, the full cavernous nature of the amphitheater. And on the pier, on the podium, is the speaker, the current speaker on this for this session, this council meeting that has been called. And as this gnome is sort of swinging on by, who might he swing to first on his mission to deliver refreshments?
Well, I'll go ahead and introduce my character first. As the gnome is running around, he'll see a very tall, elvish-looking figure. Even sitting down, you can tell that she's very tall and gaunt. Her elvish features may have once been charming and radiant, but now they are old, dull, and hollow. Pointed ears droop ever so slightly from age, downcast, sunken eyes stare into the middle distance. A thin face gives her chin and cheekbones a sharp visage. She wears little more than an oversized coat cinched at the waist and dragging behind her. Her skin is scarred, but one can still make out the green markings like stripes running across her figure. Her hair is long, scraggly, and clearly has not seen care in a long time, but oddly enough, it never seems to tangle. And on her back is strapped what looks to be like a very long sword, almost, what did I write down here? Yeah, almost 7 feet long, is strapped to her back. And for anyone who gets a good look at it, it seems like it's made out of a single material, blade, handle, everything. And she moves very slowly, but very sort of deliberately, and she just gently taps the gnome on the shoulder, and she says, "What drink are you offering?"
You stop him mid-swing as he was just about to pass you by, and he turns around and he's like, "Oh, you didn't strike me as the drinking type. Of course, it's nothing strong. It's just a little something that'll loosen up your vocal cords. It's what it's designed for, at least. And if you'd like to try a glass, I definitely have some extras." And he kind of holds up his tray and offers you one.
Are these kind of just normal sized cups?
They're normal sized cups. They're glasses. Yeah. They're fairly nice glasses. It's a council meeting at the Order of Echoes, so they like to treat you a little bit. And it's this clear white liquid, it's kind of like sparkling a little bit.
Okay. So my character, I guess I'll just say her name, Resonetta. She picks up the glass and she kind of sniffs it for a second. Does she smell anything odd or?
Other than just the, as she leans in close, she can hear the crackling of the, carbonation. There's nothing, there's not a striking scent to the drink.
Mm-hmm. So she'll just take a very, very small sip, kind of just lick her lips, recoil a little bit at the carbonation, and she just gingerly puts it back on the tray and says, "Thank you. I think I will be fine without."
And the gnome
totally on brand. Totally on brand.
The gnome takes the drink and almost kind of looks around for a second as if he's like ready to offer it to someone else, but then thinks better of it. He's like, "Well, I've got to drink it now. I can't serve it up," and kind of takes a swig back himself, and kind of shudders a little bit, and then moves on to the next chair.
Why not? Me, having watched this entire interaction, if there was any kind of nefariousness in the drinks, dude just doomed himself, so in for a penny. my character, you see, is about 7.5 feet tall. Big
Room of
burly
giants.
orc. What's that?
Room of giants.
I mean, to some, I'm sure. It's all a matter of perspective, I guess. 7 foot, 7.5 foot tall orc. Big, strong guy, and with standard, traveler's clothes. Nothing too fancy. The fanciest thing he has on him are two hand axes that are on holsters on either side of his hips, and that's only because of how ornate the handles are. But he sees the tray go by. He's like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll have one of those. This is quite refreshing," and just in like downs it like a shot. Oh, that was very nice. What do I, what what do I do with?
Yes, sir. Just right back here, sir, on the tray.
Oh yes, thank you very much.
Don't worry, I can handle it. I've been training my whole life for this. And
Most appreciated. And then about 6 seconds later, he belches. Oh, sorry about that. Snuck up on me.
And as he does so, besides the gnome kind of just quickly turning his face and moving on, you notice that indeed the vocal cords in your throat are feeling very soothed and kind of warm and loosened up by this little cocktail. And you can see that some of the other officials that are kind of standing by the podium are starting to drink theirs too, as if in preparation to make some kind of speech of sorts. And the man at the podium is beginning to speak, and you sort of tune into that. He is a male halfling, short. You can call him a hobbit, and he's clad in this simple, weathered kind of clothing and this wide-brimmed straw hat. He's barefoot, and he has this sun-marked face, showing years of toiling. And he's kind of standing nervously at this podium, and he has some kind of like notes that looks like have been hastily scrawled. And he says, "Folks back home at Sablewood, we've been seeing hard days. Since those good-for-nothing guards were dismissed, there's been nothing but strife. Sterniums, folks, want control. Real uppity types. But so do the others. We're caught in the middle, fearing for our harvests and our homes." And this speech is just like sort of echoing, filling up the space of this chamber, and people are sort of settling in and listening. And those of you who were in the previous session recognize this hobbit as the farmer from Sablewood, which was the small town that you played through your adventure in. And he has made the journey some miles, probably several days, to Oblaria to make whatever kind of plea that he is making now. And if a moment goes by and he continues on, he says, "Well, I overheard the new Sternium soldiers who were patrolling my farm. They mentioned that some soldiers were being sent to retrieve something called the Lost Cord to settle this dispute, this power vacuum, once and for all. We need someone to step in before blood is spilled. We just want to live our lives, raise our crops. Isn't there a way to settle this without fighting?" And then he sort of looks out to you guys, who are, a few feet above him on the steep, chairs of the amphitheater, as if in plea.
For the purposes of this meeting, would it be appropriate to say, well, I'll ask Laura, would it be appropriate to say our characters are sitting next to each other?
I was gonna say I'm next to you.
So-
We've been kind of connected at the hip ever since we had that moment.
I'd say so.
In the barn.
So Resonetta looks down to you, kind of makes eye contact, just kind of a silent communication going on there.
Yeah. And I was gonna I was already halfway standing up. And I was gonna be like, oh, hi, Mr. Hobbit person.
You hear this hi, Mr. Hobbit, echoing throughout the whole amphitheater.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Resonetta will just kind of tickle her ear a little bit, and she raises a hand as well, saying, I believe what my friend meant to say is we would like to volunteer, seeing as how we may have dealt with something that is relevant to this lost cord.
Yeah. What Resnetta said. We're familiar.
The farmer looks up at you, and this wave of recognition passes over his face, and says, "Oh, that's right. I remember. Y'all were most helpful at my farm and with my son. Thank you kindly. I know that I'm in good hands with the Order of Echoes. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't give the podium up to the man who's claimed that he's going to lead you guys on, hopefully, the journey to whatever this lost cord is. That seems like it's a lot of trouble. And, this large human male kind of takes the podium and kind of ushers him off. It's this tall, imposing guy. He's clad in this almost like ceremonial armor with these...
Are your characters still standing?
I think we've been pointed out. Resonetta doesn't need to stand.
Okay.
But yeah.
I probably am.
All right. You feel weight behind you.
And I literally look straight up and kind of keep leaning back and back and back and back and back and back and back.
Right. Would you mind a third?
Hi. Do I know you?
I don't think so.
I'm Cree.
I am Zugol. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Same. You're tall.
Bit average for the people of my tribe.
I ain't never met people like you.
Well, that makes two of us.
Valid. We should probably talk later, though.
That's a good idea.
I've been told I talk too much. I'm gonna sit down.
That's also a good idea. Yeah.
Can I introduce my character?
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
So my character, Artemis von Stormbringer, is sitting a few feet away with her giant salamander, Sir Flanagan, in her lap. She's petting him, watching this all go down. She's like, oh, these noisy people. I just want to listen to this speech, and they can't even be quiet for 2 minutes.
Can I write down your full name? I didn't get the whole thing.
Artemis von Stormbringer.
Wait,
She's,
Artemis? No way. That's my online handle is Artemis. What the hell?
Yeah, so
Oh, this is gonna be confusing.
She's the third-born child to House Stormbringer, a very powerful, noble house. But as the third-born, she doesn't hold a lot of power. Her two older siblings, a brother and a sister, are more noteworthy, and she's just the awkward middle child. But still, she's kind of very smart and cunning, knows how to get her way.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
And
Chris,
she
I didn't get your
absolutely
full
loves
name.
her giant salamander with a bow tie. Sir Flanagan, that's his name.
Chris, I didn't get your name because we were talking. Is it Zukol? Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Yes, my roommate was asking me something. Yes, Zugal. Hold on, let me get the exact spelling. I had it in my head, and then my train of thought hit a cow. Yay, ADHD! It's a wonderful thing. One moment, please. Your game is very important to us. Please remain on the Zoom. Your question will be answered at the earliest convenience.
Did you know
I-
you can use a website for even faster and more convenient approaches?
Right? That's what I did. D&D Beyond. Zugal. XU''GOL.
And
Klingon spell.
the imposing male on the podium continues on. He's going to be giving some of you, the rest of you, the time to introduce your characters in a moment. And he says, "Thank you for your bravery, Zachariah." And he's gesturing to the farmer. "Your plight mirrors the fears and hopes of many here. The turmoil at Sablewood is a symptom of deeper unrest that plagues our land. In the Whispering Isles, there rests an ancient artifact, the Lost Chord, a harp. Some say that is strung with unicorn hair, capable of restoring harmony. I will be your Resonite to lead this mission." And Resonite, for those of you who don't remember, is it's the upper tier above Echolite in this order. And his name is Sir Galdrian, if I didn't mention that. And he says, "I'm seeking brave Ecolites to join me, but you must prove your worth. Tell us who you are and why should you be chosen for this mission." And he sort of gestures towards Eric or Dan's character as if to sort of give you the floor for a moment.
Well, my character. Okay, I can just make up one, right?
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah. And if you don't have one, that's fine too.
Absolutely. Okay, my character is more like a laid-back knight who has a laid-back, carefree attitude, who is very adventurous. Let's say his name. You ever played Hero Wars? You ever heard
Ooh.
about? Never played that game before?
No.
He's based off of one of the characters from that mobile app, which is a game called Hero Wars. There's this character named Galahad. He is very carefree, and my character is based off of him pretty much.
Okay, yeah. I'm
Okay.
of like Soren from Dragon Prince, if anyone knows.
Yeah, sure. How about my character can be? His name is Soren.
Aw.
How about it? Since you came up with it, might as well put it on it. And to get my best acting, I gotta stand up and face my microphone right here.
There you go.
All right. So, what's the situation?
So,
Like, you know?
Sir Galdrian has just stood up and delivered this speech on the podium, outlining a bit about where you might go, the Whispering Isles, and he's assembling a team. And he wants to know who his team is going to be and why should you be a part of it.
Well, you should allow me to join on your team. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Soren. And can I make up a place, you know?
Absolutely. Make it up. Make it all
Sure.
up.
My name is Soren, and I come from a land called Faraway Avalon. And everyone always likes me there because I'm always do my best to save their kingdom, no matter what.
Sir Galdrian looks up at you and says, "Well, we definitely need people like that on the team. Saving the kingdom, that's part of the job description for sure." And then he sort of looks towards Dan's character, if any, and
Yeah, there's one.
motions towards you.
It's a silver dragonborn, kind of short. He isn't really paying attention. He's kind of picking his nose, but then looks up. Huh?
Oh, Sir Galdrian says, "Sorry if I'm interrupting you at your council session, but we're trying to assemble a team for the adventure, and I'm looking for willing souls who are ready to sacrifice it all to go to the Whispering Isles in search of this lost chord before those new Sternium jerks get there."
Jerks.
All right. He looks around, scanning the room with his really weirdly bright purple eyes. Yeah, sure. Count me in.
A dragonborn, a few words.
I mean, you kind of explained it already. Don't need to tell me anymore.
Fair enough.
Jeez.
Chris looked like he was. Was that were you preparing?
I was just
something?
going to make the suggestion of, people putting their characters' names in the chat so that we can all
Oh, good
write them down
idea.
and have a good point of reference.
Good idea.
I appreciate that. Because I'm just creating and spelling in my own hooked on phonics kind of way otherwise.
I am horrible for notes. This is more for me. Yay!
Thank you.
Great
This is
idea.
wonderful.
Great idea. Okay, and so over the course of the council session, some of the citizens or civilians of Oblaria have gathered in the sort of at the entrance of the amphitheater where anyone is allowed to sort of sit and listen in on the sessions, which are assumed to be, transparent and open to the public. And they're everyone's sort of, curious and kind of murmuring to each other about like what this is going to entail. And Sir Galdrian says, "Well, then we've no time to waste. We better get going. If I know New Sternium, they have one of the most powerful naval forces in all of Vocalis, in all of Vocalia. And we better get going down to the docks where we have a ship waiting."
Ew! I have to be on a ship? Oh.
At the same time she says that, it's, ooh, I get to be on a ship.
This room is, you said, echoes
I never
literally
get to
everything,
be on
right?
a ship before. I only ride horses back in my. I only ride horses back in my country. So
Only
this is
ever
going to be
been on a
exciting.
boat. This is gonna be horrible.
Sir Flanagan jumps off in excitement. Ship? Water? He gets really excited, and then Artemis tries to like calms him down. Like we're just don't interrupt them. Stay
This is
quiet.
gonna
And to
roast
answer your
this-
question, Dan, yes, everything is echoed quite immensely in this chamber that you're sitting in.
All right, cool. Wolf is going to be basically playing around with sound, trying to you know how you can do that thing where you talk a second behind someone to interrupt them and make their brains trip up? He's trying to do that to people around him.
Okay. Anyone specific?
Just anyone who's nearby him. He's kind of just, I think he's kind of just like off on the side of the room by just some random dudes, and he's watching their reaction.
Just causing mischief.
Yeah.
Sir Galdrian kind of, looks a little bit tripped up during his speech. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but let's get going. And he leads you out of the amphitheater, and the crowd that is sort of amassed at the top makes way ceremoniously and kind of bows to the members of the order they're watching march by. And he's ushering you through the city of Oblaria, through this market square, and amidst this cacophony of vendors and passersby, a cloaked figure beckons you into a secluded alley.
All of us?
He specifically gets the attention of Kree and Chris's character
Resonetta.
But is sort of gesturing more as if more broadly to you. And Sir Galdrian, who has been leading the way, is walking past and hasn't noticed.
Did anybody
am
else notice?
Probably more on the oblivious side, Chris. So you might be
guess.
the one to notice before me.
I'd probably say Soren would probably be confused as well. Like, he'd be on the same page as everyone else, I say.
As Resonetta notices the hooked figure, she stops walking, and she takes quite a couple moments to kind of register the cloaked figure she's wearing, and then looking back to Sir Galdrian, just weighing her options. Is there any check I could do to try and figure out maybe what this figure's intentions are?
Yes, you can make a charisma check which is used in voices and choices for those kinds of things, where D&D might be something like
Would I be able to make one too, just to see if I notice this odd behavior?
You can help out with Resonetta if you can explain how you're dovetailing in with her sort of interaction. Yes.
It's less of a dovetailing into her interaction and more of a, just taking in the sights as he's walking. Would Zugal spot this oddball in an alley?
Okay, so that's gonna be more of a perception check. But let's have Resonetta make her charisma check first. And that's
Fair
gonna
enough.
be every check or skill attempt is going to be a D20 roll. The difficulty class or the challenge level is always 12. So if you can clear 12 is what you're subtracting to the roll to sort of get this number, and if it's positive, then you've passed, and if it's negative, then you've failed. So it's going to be D20 roll plus your charisma modifier. Now, modifiers are really easy in voices and choices. When you make your character, you just choose one skill to give a +2 and one skill to give a -2. Okay, well, what are the skills? There's 4 skills. 4? There's strength, which also, is the measure of the amount of muscles you have, the force you can exert on things. There's dexterity, which is your ability to move quickly, and also your fine motor control. If you're a stealthy rogue, you may have a high dexterity. If you're an archer, you may have a high dexterity. I guess, for example, as a strength, you might choose a +2 if you're more like a barbarian type or a knight, as we've heard some knight archetypes. So we have strength, dexterity, charisma, which is definitely used if you're the barding sort of type and you're going to be regaling people with your tales, or perhaps you're some crafty merchant type. And then there is perception, which is sort of a bundle of how how sharp your senses are and how intelligent you are at problem solving, and is used quite frequently alongside charisma with magic if you're using magic. And so basically you just choose one of those 4 skills: strength, dexterity, charisma, perception. You give it a +2 if that's your thing. And you pick one of those skills, you give it a -2 if that's something. Well, you need to give one of the skills a -2 to balance yourself out. And that's really all there is to it. So you think about what kind of archetype your character is, and you give yourself a stat boost and a stat drawback based on that. Now, 2 of our players have already done a session. At the end of each session, you can pick any skill, give it a +1, so they might have an extra modifier on top of that. And with that said,
I needed
what is the D20 roll?
D20 roll is 8 with my modifier. That is a 7.
Okay. So let's have. So Chris mentioned that his character was helping out. So he gets to throw in a D6 roll to see if he can spot anything on the character that might give us clues as to his intentions.
I roll the d6.
Yep. Because you're helping.
2.
Okay. That's a 9, so you're at -3. And it doesn't. You can't get a clear sense of whether he might just need help with some fleeting errand, or whether he's really he really needs your help, or whether he's just a brief distraction. And as Sir Galdrian is sort of trailing off into the crowd, you're kind of losing him. And it's not like you wouldn't know where to go. There's a bustling port somewhere in the distance, but you're quickly losing sight of Sir Galdrian, and you're forced to make a decision very quickly.
Could Resonetta reach to grab Kree's hand? Is she nearby?
I'm sure. Yeah. Assuming that's okay.
I'm right in front of you.
All right. So
I'm still mumbling to myself about how much I hate boats.
Resonetta, still staring at this cloaked figure, grabs Kree's hand, and then calls out loud enough for Sir Galdrian to hear, "Who are you, and what do you want with us?"
He kind of ducks down. He's like, "Shh, not so loud, not so loud. I can't talk about that here." And he sort of looks to see if Sir Galdrian heard, and it's then sort of just recedes into the crowd, further towards the sort of sidewalk area where there's this shady kind of alleyway. And
Resinetta, you're not usually this loud. What's wrong?
I saw someone. I think he wanted our attention for some reason.
Shady people in alleys. Up to no good, I'll bet. We should investigate.
Should we stop it?
Greenhead leans down. What's going on?
Oh, hi. We're investigating a mystery. Anything to keep me away from a boat for any length of time.
Don't like boats?
I've never been on one bigger than a little rowboat.
I've
And
never
even
been
that
on
made
one
me
at all.
motion sick.
I've never been on a boat in my life. This is exciting.
Let's keep it.
Neither
that way.
have I. But this is exciting and thrilling. Gotta say.
Resinetta,
boat.
where'd he go?
Follow me, and still holding Kree's hand, she starts leading the way towards the alley.
And as you sort of duck between the passersby and into this sidewalk that clears out into this alley, there's this human male. He's kind of still hunched over. He's weary. He's worn. He's got this this cloak on that seems to have belonged to the order. It has this insignia of the order, which is this nautilus shell that's kind of minimalistic, and it's just this like single line, but it makes this nautilus spiral, and is embedded in these 3 concentric rings. And it may have once been this nice cloak, and it's now tattered, and it's just hanging kind of loosely around his stooped figure. And as you approach, he's watching you very cautiously from the shadows, having been a little put off by how hesitant you were. And his eyes are just sort of like wide and hollow. He says, "Come closer. I fear that there's not much time. 20 years passed. A band of brave souls similar to you ventured to the Whispering Isles. They too were seeking the lost cord. The order put them up to it. None returned, but I, bearing naught but sorrow and warnings. The journey is cursed, fraught with peril."
Resinetta will kind of stand up to her full height, getting very serious and staring down and saying, "What kind of curse can we expect?"
"I'll let you in on something because I recognize you." And he turns up, and you can see under his hood that he is, his name is Matthew. You recognize him as the former Resonite from your previous adventure, who was a bit, made himself a bit scarce.
MIA.
And may have been harboring some feelings of resentment towards this Order of Echoes who claims to be keeping the peace. And he says, "Frankly, it's very, basically you need to have a death wish if you're going to the Whispering Isles. The sandy beaches are guarded by these enormous golems of sand that overtake the beach and destroy anything within their grasp. And if you can manage to make it past them, well, that's only the beginning."
Did you say golems?
That's what I said.
I'm gonna take them
Wanting to
apart.
let you know, I need to take a quick bathroom break,
No worries.
and I'll be right back.
Yeah, if
I'm just
anyone needs
gonna-
to take a break at any time, no worries. Don't feel like you're gonna miss anything. We'll get you up to speed.
I have too many pieces of paper.
Resinetta will take... Oh, sorry.
Matthew says, "I beg of you, please don't. Please consider whether this is really what you want to do, because once you go on that ship, there's no turning back. The Order will use you for every ounce that you have in you."
Wolf, what do you have against golems?
They killed my crew.
Wait, me or him?
So you didn't get past the golems?
Unfortunately, I was forced to turn back.
Well, that doesn't give us much
Order.
to go on.
So the Order did not abandon you, you abandoned them.
suppose it's true. Maybe I did. But can you blame me for prioritizing my own personal safety? The welfare of my family? The order is not the end-all be-all. I did what I had to.
Why are you saying it's cursed, though? That just sounds like there's things protecting the island.
You do have noble inclinations in you. The way I see it, they just killed my men, and I've never been able to sleep a full night since.
Oh.
Rough, buddy.
I can see that your resolve is clear and that you're going to go through with it even still. Don't say I didn't warn you.
You're a sweet guy. You should come with us and get redemption or something.
Make a charisma check with disadvantage.
Me?
Yes.
The person with the worst charisma score on the planet?
You're the one who said it.
I'm right there with you.
Oh, man.
We're all just,
Why'd I say that?
none of us are charming.
What that's going to be is your d20 roll with another d6 that is not going to be positive. It's going to be negative.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I put my foot in it. That's great. She just puts her foot in it.
My face when I speak without thinking.
Well, that's my character, though.
I almost said think think without speaking. That's what I just do every day.
See, when you say just put her foot in it, I don't know. Is this in a foot in the boot situation, or is this just squishy sock?
I mean, she just took the boot off, found a puddle. Put the foot sock puddle.
Yep. That's
Smushed it
what I was
around,
thinking.
and then put the wet, muddy sock back in the shoe.
Yummy.
And it's sloshing around in there. Okay, so that was a 13 minus 2. So 11.
He's going to recoil back. Don't ever ask me to go there again.
Okay. No, I understand you got PTSD. I'm sorry. I've always been told I say things when I shouldn't say things. Mama always said I'm insensitive.
Says, well,
But, I call it like it is.
fair enough.
Shoulda,
but
coulda, woulda.
I cannot follow you. And then he sort of just recedes back into the alleyway. And Sir Galdrian kind of, appears. And he's like, what are you guys doing? Are you coming or not?
Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Bye, Matthew. He was a nice guy, though.
Zugol is like, I'm not even breathing heavy. I don't know what that means, but that's apparently the response to that question.
Galdrian says, Matthew? You were talking to Matthew? We've been trying to...
Oh, was I not supposed to say that?
He was dishonorably discharged from the order, and, well, we're not supposed to talk to him.
Really?
Cool.
But we have a job to do, and we need to get there quick. So I'm going to overlook that, and we're going to keep going. And as he takes you to these docks, the docks of Blaria are alive with bustling activity of preparations for this sea voyage. And this air is filled with the mingling scent of seawater and tar and fresh timber. Around you, sailors are securing crates and barrels, rigging sails and tightening ropes under the watchful eyes of Sir Galdrian, and seagulls are crying out overhead, the wooden planks beneath your feet. And as you're sort of taking in this orchestrated chaos, it's clear that there's lots to be done. And Sir Galdrian is overseeing the preparations. He says, every knot ensure it's tied with purpose, every sail robustly secured. We leave nothing to chance, for the sea is a fickle mistress. And he's sort of, pointing and giving orders and making it clear that whoever wants to help prepare the ship should be doing so.
Where's my luggage? That's in character, by the way.
Oh.
Royal Highness March luggage.
Done some along in advance.
No, Zugol just has his traveler's pack, which for most people is a duffel bag. Like, like 4.5 foot tall duffel bag.
would-
Resonetta is more concerned with what she talked about with Matthew, so she's going to approach Sir Galdrian and say, "What kind of dangers can we expect on the Whispering Isles?"
Well, since you talked to Matthew, I'm sure that he filled you in on what happened last time. There are some sand golems that we're definitely gonna have to reckon with, and it won't be easy. But I'm sure that this crew is much more well equipped than his was. Beyond that, they say that the Whispering Isles, although not many have ventured that far inland, are composed of a network of tide pools of sorts. And water is always flowing in and out with the tide and bringing in creatures of various degrees of danger or mystery. If I could say more, I would, but the Whispering Isles are known for their mystery.
Said they were cursed. Does this have anything to do with the stealing of voices we encountered in Sablewood?
Well, it may. There's a reason why the Lost Chord is located on the Whispering Isles. It wasn't always there. It used to belong to the Order about a century ago. Some creature, we don't speak of it anymore, I don't know much about it, came and stole it. It was a nefarious and meddling beast, whoever it is. And, well, the Order's never been the same since. This is a powerful artifact that's used to resolve disputes across all of Ocalia, and, well, we've had to do a lot more manual labor when it comes to peacekeeping since we've lost it. The voices, I don't know if any voices were lost per se, but whatever was stolen certainly left a dark feeling that you could say is a curse on the Order.
I am very suspicious of all things ship. So I'm looking around at this ship and all the sailors that are preparing and the people, the dock workers loading everything. And I'm looking for anything happening that is untoward. Can I do a perception check to see if there's anything that might be happening? Now, bear in mind, I have no idea what should be happening on a ship.
Absolutely. You're
So
scrutinizing the area.
I am scrutinizing for
Browse
anything that is
for-
suspicious, not knowing what is suspicious on a ship.
Yep. Please. Yes.
Soren is now back, and he just got back from the bathroom, and he's glad that there was a bathroom on the ship. I really could have used the bathroom. I'm glad there was one on this ship.
It's always a welcome.
But it would
addition.
make,
Okay.
but it wouldn't make sense for there not to be. I mean, what we're supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Our business off the side?
If it works.
All right, we're gonna have that perception check.
So that with my +1 for perception is a 20.
Okay, you're gonna see as you're looking around the dock. You're all still sort of standing, below the ship. There's this ramp that sort of extends up onto it, and you can see that there's this figure kind of hanging off the side of it, and he's got this like long blade, and he's just sawing into this rope that's hanging off of the mast of the ship.
Hey! What you doing with that?
The figure looks back at you, and you can see that it's Matthew from before, and he's kind of looks back at what he's doing and just continues sawing even more quickly.
Names of people. Sir
Galdrian.
Sir Galdrian. Sir Gumperwhat. Sir Gumperwhat. Sir Galdrian. I don't like being a tattletale. Matthew, I don't do ships. But what I really don't do is sabotage ships.
Well, one
Stop
of you
that.
do something then. We can't have people sabotaging this ship. This journey hasn't even started yet. You know,
So-
Artemis sees all the commotion and comes over, and then she takes her staff and just whacks Matthew on the upside of the head with it.
Who's trying to sabotage the ship?
It was Matthew.
Matthew.
Okay, so tell us about the staff. It's a long wooden staff. Is there anything? we should know?
It's a like maybe around 7 feet long with like a metal staff with like a gemstone at the end of it. It's normally used for magic, but in this case, she's using it for physical damage.
Bougie.
Okay, make a strength check.
Okay,
Force trauma.
okay, let's see.
You're telling me a blunt force is trauma?
I rolled
Yes.
a 4 and no modifiers.
Is somebody gonna help her with this attempt? As she's swinging the staff.
Soren jumps into action and tries to convince Matthew to stop sabotaging the ship, or else things will get worse.
Well,
In the
see-
middle of me hitting
Hey,
him.
stop! Not cool, man. Stop sabotaging this ship. Things are not going to end well if you keep this up.
So
Is
as
that
the
a
staff
distraction move?
swings, as the staff swings, it just misses Matthew sort of hanging off of this rope, and he looks more like just caught off guard by what Soren is saying than anything else, but doesn't really stop, and now he's just kind of swinging, to and fro, and he's now just like climbing up the rope, having like cut it down to like just a little bit, and he's climbing up the rope to see if he can get back onto the ship proper.
If he's climbing the rope, Zagola's going to try to grab him by the ankle and hold him in place.
Okay, make a strength check. Assuming, yeah, you're a big guy. I'm assuming you're using your strength to do this.
That is my +2. Yep. All right, that is a natural 20 for a
Nice.
22.
Wonderful. He's squirming in your hands, in your big orc hand, upside down.
Now, why are you doing some fool things like this?
Matthew, I really like you. I do, but you are making it hard to like you right now. You could have just said, no, I'm not going to go with you, and then leave it. But no, you had to come and try to ruin the trip. I forced myself to get on this boat,
Question.
Wait.
What
you
you
know
did,
her?
Matthew, was not cool at all. Not cool.
I was doing this because I cared about you, but I can see that the time for that is past. If you're going to hurt me, just do it quickly. Crosses his
I
arms.
think you're already hurting yourself, buddy.
As an inventor, as Wolf is an inventor, can he take a look at the rope and see if cutting it would have even done anything critical?
Yeah, absolutely. I assume that your
That is
your
funny.
+2 is going to be perception because you're a smart guy, and you can make your perception check. Yes, of course.
Yeah, one
While Dan's character is making that perception check, Zugal holding Matthew will look over and Sir Galdrian, what do you want me to do with this one?
Toss him overboard, of course.
Oh.
Are we underway?
There's this narrow
you-
gap. No, you're standing on the. At least Chris's character is
Okay.
standing on this ramp that leads up to the ship, and there's just narrow gap between the dock and the ship that leads to the ocean.
Can't I just... I'll just bring him back to land. There's no need for the drop in the water.
Fair enough. Do what you must.
Was perception intelligence, or was that something else?
Perception is sort of
Intelligence.
this bundle of intelligence and wisdom, if you're familiar with D&D mechanics.
Yes, I am. I rolled a 14.
Okay, with a +2, that's 16, and you're going to be able to tell that yes, this rope was going to be very costly and would not have allowed the ship to even unfurl its sails, and you're going to be able to pinpoint the area for repair.
Dan,
be
the new
worse.
ship's right.
And I'll just pick him up and be like, all right, come on, off with you.
Matthew just scurries off into the crowd as quickly as he can. Sir Galdrian says, "Don't worry about him. We've got to get moving. Somebody repair that rope."
It's fine,
There we
it's
go.
fine. Where's my crate? I had a crate around here somewhere. Never mind, whatever. Just... Wolf is going to climb up the ropes and just check to see how much tension there is left in the rope. See if that little tiny sliver is enough to get us by for now, or if it's gonna need instant repairs.
You can tell that it's gonna need some instant repairs.
Ah. All right.
I have pretty good decks. I grew up on a farm, so I have like farm hand like dexterity experience. So if you need like rope braiding, I can be put to task. If you need somebody to be put to task rope braiding.
Please. That would be wonderful because I don't do ropes. I do chains. Chains are great. Chains are made of metal. You can't cut chains easily.
All
It's in the
right,
cord family.
where's the rope? Somebody put me to rope. I can splice as soon as it's ready. I'll tell you. I'll go sit in a corner and vomit off the side when I feel nauseous.
Although recently we've been experimenting with steel braided cables. I don't want to talk about how much they cost to make.
Neat.
All right. Do you hand Kree the rope? You're sort of dangling off of the mast there. Are you handing Kree the rope to repair?
Yeah.
All right. Kree's gonna make her dexterity check to braid it on up.
He's kind of, when you like hang from like a bar by your knees upside down.
Yeah.
He's doing that off the rigging.
I like you. You and I can
I'm
go
under them just in
jungle
case
juice.
one of them takes a tumble.
With Dex +2, that's a 19.
Not only is it functional, it's a beautiful braid that would be right at home on the beard of any dwarf. And with that, the ship's preparations are complete, and Sir Galdrian takes the helm and begins steering the ship. And you depart the docks, and a few hours into your journey at sea, which was going, quite okay, all things considered, suddenly this chill descends. And what were clear skies are swiftly overtaken by this thick, creeping fog. And the ship's forward momentum carries you deeper into this dense mist that soon turns into a howling storm. And visibility drops to near nothing as the sea beneath you roils dangerously. Amidst this chaos, the cliffs of the Whispering Isles appear, heralded
The
by...
white cliffs of Dover.
The cliffs of insanity!
Inconceivable. And there's this ominous...
Copyright infringement.
Oops, we're about to get shut down.
No!
Cancelled!
Sir Galdrian says, "Quick, before the Discord bots here, somebody steady this ship!" And just, sort of recoils away from the wheel, and it's like spinning wildly.
I'll grab it.
All right,
Is that more of a strength?
make a strength
Yep,
check.
I got it.
Go! Be macho!
That is a 12.
Plus your
Ooh, barely.
modifier.
Plus modifier, yeah, 12 total.
Oh, 12 total. That's a neutral success. And you're going to navigate, steady the wheel just in time.
Oh, she's feisty! Oh, she's feisty!
And you're straining with the effort, muscles bulging, and you're navigating perilously close to these cliffs that are just, silhouetted with lightning strikes above you. And you just manage to avoid a direct collision, and the hull of the ship is kind of just like scrapes against the cliff briefly.
Oh, God. Drive better! This is horrible!
Can you even call this driving?
I don't do boats.
Can you even call this driving? I don't know what I'm calling it!
Wolf going to sling under deck and check if there's flooding.
Okay, make a perception check.
A perception check to see water?
Well, to see-
Yes,
In the dark? Who
the
knows?
extent of it.
Actually, I have dark vision.
Valid.
Okay, that's a 1. I don't see a goddamn thing. I'm going back up.
No!
That's for your dark vision comment. That's what you get.
The
Bring
dice
it,
will
bring it.
always learn you your lesson, won't they?
Well, a few minutes after, staring into the darkness as your dark vision's taking a little bit longer than usual to kick in, you decide to call it quits and head back up onto the main deck. And the ship has sort of, it was somewhat skillfully maneuvered given the circumstances, but it's a somewhat haphazard landing on this beach. And as you've navigated through the storm, clears partway, and over the course of 20 minutes or so, and you see that you are on this sheltered cove on the island, sort of below these rocky cliffs. And not far away on the other side of the beach, maybe 200 feet or so away, is the wreckage of another ship in much worse shape than yours. And it appears to be an ancient ship. It's half buried in the sand. And this splintered mast and hull is sort of like, cracked and hanging, and its hull is encrusted with barnacles, and it's draped in seaweed. And it's casting this ghostly silhouette against this storm-ravaged beach. Now, that's sort of what you see as you sort of emerge onto the beach.
All right, Wolf's
See?
going to call dibs and run off towards the wreck ship.
See, that's why we don't do ships. That is why we do not do ships.
I will hand her my water skin, because you've been violently heaving the last 5 minutes. It's like,
Oh, I'm aware.
just for rinsing it all out. And
Oh, is my breath bad?
Yes.
it was like, I can't tell from all the way down there. I just thought you didn't want to you wanted your teeth to feel a little bit better.
No, that is kind. Thank you.
Now, Wolf, as you near the remains of this site, you spot a skeletal captain on the ship. Assuming that you're on the ship, and this captain skeleton has this tattered, coat, and he has this bony hand that's reaching towards a glass jar, and this glass jar is swirling with some captive, shimmering wind-like substance.
Wait a minute. The bony skeleton's moving, or he's just like stationary with his hand,
Stationary,
like...
reaching towards it, frozen. You know what I mean? Like he died reaching for it.
Yeah, as if that was his last act before expiring.
In this kind of game, I have to make sure.
Fair.
Oh no, Eric.
Sir Flanagan is more interested in the hat and takes the hat and then just wears it.
Sir Flanagan takes
The
the hat
salamander
off of
is my
this-
spirit animal.
off of the skeleton. This enormous, sand hand comes up off of the beach and attempts to take the hat off of the salamander's head.
And then Sir Flanagan reaches like, no! Oh. And then Artemis comes over and pats him on the head. He's like, it's okay, buddy. We'll get you a new hat.
And the hand is going to grab your salamander and sort of reach up, and the hat remains on the salamander, but he's now up in the air. And around him, two other golems have emerged on the sides of the ship that are
Oh, dear.
about halfway up the height. So there's three of them, and one of them is holding your salamander with his tricorn hat.
Wow, those are
Well,
certainly sand
fuck.
golems.
We didn't have a single break, did we, y'all?
Resonette-
Enter combat.
Resonetta, seeing that, immediately charges forward with her sword drawn and slashes at one of the golems.
Okay, make a strength check.
Make a strength check. And there we go. Let's see. Oh, that's not great. Total 6.
Oof.
The golem is going to sort of like block you with the salamander. There's this impact that kind of bruises both of you, and the salamander gives this little squeak and looks back at Lynn's character longingly, and then the other hand grabs
My heart.
Resonetta, and is strong enough to lift you up. You're about 3/4, actually a little bit shorter than that relative to the golem. Golem's half the height of the ship, sunken ship.
Disclaimer: no familiars really perceived or actually harmed in the making of this one shot.
Right.
Artemis pulls out her staff and prepares to cast a fire spell.
Yay, we have magic users in this version. I wasn't sure because the first
Should I
one
do a
we
roll?
did, I didn't
Yes,
have a
you
ma-
should do a roll. I'm gonna assume that you're using perception for your magic
Yes.
skill, and your perception is probably +2.
Yeah.
And magic is fair game for anyone, assuming you can incorporate it into your backstory. So you can talk a little bit about maybe how you got your staff, and where your magic is coming from and what it might look like. What are you channeling here?
Okay, so since she's from a powerful noble house, she's very well read, has like plenty of no shortage of private tutors and a private boarding school. So she's
Is there a
quite
tapping? Someone making a tapping noise?
Oh, I'm playing with my D20. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so,
Noble
It's a
House.
it's a metal D20. It's very loud.
Yeah, so she's very well read. Like yeah, but she's not like super not like a gifted, just like kind of like that A B type of student. So she's kind of well versed in magic, but not like exceptional. So she decides to cast a fireball at the golems.
Okay.
And then
Wonderful.
okay.
And so that's going to be. I may have neglected to mention that if you're using a tool like a sword or a staff, those types of tools are going to add a +2 to your roll if you're using a tool.
Okay.
So you can make your perception check with your modifier, which is +2, and with your staff, which is +2, so that'll be +4. However, because this is magic, it's a mechanic called risk, and risk works like disadvantage. So you're going to roll your d6, but it's going to be negative. And if you still pass, that negative number then becomes positive. So it's going to
Okay.
basically amplify the result to the nth degree. So
May
to
I-
review,
Okay.
it's a d20 roll, and we'll add
Plus or
+2
minus 6.
and minus whatever that d6 roll is.
But then that adds positive. Okay.
May I use a spell to help her?
Let's see. Let's see where this goes first, and then you can kind of help out.
Okay, so on the d20 I rolled an 18, and then the d6 I rolled a 4.
Okay, so 18 minus 4 is going to be 14, plus 4 is 18, so that is a massive success. That minus 4 is going to make it a 24, and that's going to be a huge cloud of fire. Can you paint us a word picture about this fire that's coming out of your staff?
The fire is like starts small and then grows bigger and bigger, and it becomes so hot it's blue, and it shoots out of the staff directly at the golem. And then I don't know, hits it square in the chest, and then fire and sparks are coming off of it, and the air is like you can smell the burnt smell of golem.
The burnt sand some of it turns to glass and sort of this like transparent like whoosh kind of effect. And the glass, shatters and shards fly into the other golems, and they look extremely disoriented. The first golem dissipates entirely, drops your salamander, drops Resonetta onto the beach. You guys each fall, 2 or 3 feet onto the sand, and the other golems are just like reeling back. One of them just like falls over into the sand, and the other one is recovering in a moment of disorientation.
And then my salamander, still holding on to his hat, runs back to Artemis, going. And then Artemis scoops up her salamander and puts him on her shoulder.
What do you do with the hat?
He's still wearing his hat, but it still has like it's a little burned now. There's like
Aw.
a little
City.
bit,
He
a
still
little
looks
wisp
great
of
in it.
smoke, a little wisp of smoke coming off it, but he doesn't mind.
You still look good, buddy.
Hey, Austin.
Yes.
Are there any cannons on this wrecked ship?
There are some cannons that are encrusted with barnacles and look like they haven't seen use in 100 years. And due to the angle of the ship, they're sort of pointed up in a way that they would totally miss the golem. But, it's not inconceivable that you could.
Ooh, we did it again.
I've worked with worse. All right, he's gonna go for one of them. Cut away what's left of any ropes that might have been holding it down.
Yep, they slip
And,
down to the deck.
All right, and try very, very hard to move it into position. He has a -2 in strength.
Make that strength roll.
Oh, come on, Dragon Guide. I know you got it in you.
He rolled a 10.
That's gonna be with the -2. That'll be an 8. And
8.
The cannon is just not budging an inch. It's not even you're not even breaking the crust that has formed between the cannon and the deck of the ship. It's looking like you're gonna need some help.
I'd offer, but I'm not. I'm not.
I got it. I got it. Totally got it.
Sir Galdrian is like, guys, I don't think he's got it. And this sand golem is recovering, and you can see that.
Are you-
sort of standing up.
Are you sure you're all right up there?
Yes, got it.
I would suggest you get down and help.
For
And
crying out loud. No, you say that. It's like, no. I've dealt with stubborn before.
Stubborn.
I'll go up
President.
and help him. What? You're Dan. You said your character's a dragonborn.
Yes, Silver.
Ah,
he's
what color?
he's only 5'6", so you're towering over him just a little bit.
Silver.
What color?
Silver.
Silver. Okay.
Silver, gray, somewhere in that area.
Right. All right, Silver Bells. What are you trying to do here?
Hey, cannon, golem.
To fire or to fall?
He's gonna stop pushing for a second. To drop it on his head. Obviously going to shoot it.
I'll kick it.
Make a strength check.
It's like, all right, so it's just it. All right, so right about here. Oh, that is a 6.
oh no.
+2, that's an 8. Unless you got.
Nope. That's total.
Oh.
I rolled a 4 with a +2. That is a 6.
Oh no.
So he
Oh, it's really stuck there.
Do you
Or
happen
he-
to be wearing any sort of steel-toed boots or something?
Oh no, it wasn't like full toe. It was more like trying to go for like a Spartan kick. So it was like the ball of my foot. Either way, though, I was like, son of a.
You're gonna fall.
That's
back
really stuck on there.
the unstable, surface of the deck, and just fall back onto the sand. Falling 12 feet, and you're just buried under the sand. And this golem has now risen to its full height, and just kind of descends upon the ship with this big. And it's gonna be right where where Soren's character is standing on the ship. And Soren, how would you react if a giant sand hand was descending upon you?
Oh no!
Oh,
I think
he
he's.
said he's out of commission
Yeah.
for a few minutes.
I thought he said he was back.
No, he
he's
didn't. No.
discharging. So
Oh, maybe.
let's go. Kree.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna regret asking this question, but post seasickness, having just gotten on land, am I at disadvantage still?
That would stand to reason. There was some help with that though. Someone.
Yes, I was
someone-
given water.
Yes.
We'll say that gesture of good faith has canceled out
Thank
any effects of this.
God. Okay, good. So, we're gonna retcon that I now have some very minimal amount of magic after our last game, because the first thing I did when I got back to the city was go to a mentor and go, I need to learn me some magic, because the last time we got in a fight, it was real bad and I had no magic, so help.
And for some background,
so-
the Order of Echoes often provides magical training to its initiates in the form of this kind of what they call resonant magic. There's lots of different kinds of magic, but this resonant magic focuses on the power of the monologue as this sort of force that can shape the wills of others and bend reality. And so they often members of the Order are often found delivering powerful speeches at opportune moments in battle that will shape the elements and so forth.
Yeah. And as a rogue type, which has escaped me what that is in your world build that you have, of the
Of
Of
like
the,
adventuring archetypes?
of your world build.
Sure, yeah. So if you're like a crafty rogue and you were drawn to the Order, they're probably interested in your abilities to work with people and get them to see your point of view, even if it might take a little bit of convincing. And sort of you're this crafty. You could be like a crafty assassin who's sort of got a dark side, or it's open to interpretation. Any sort
Yeah.
of a roguish archetype you can think of is fair game.
Yeah.
So I don't want to.
So
step on
so
that.
I'm basically gonna use the resonant thing and the assassin thing, and my magic essentially is I use vibrations in my pistols. So my bullets now have resonant activity. So when I fire them, the vibrations can kind of like multiply out from the area of impact.
Oh, okay, like shrapnel.
Yeah. And
Okay, so make your
maybe
dexterity
5 foot
check
radius
with risk. It's gonna be that
With risk.
disadvantage.
Okay. And what was my plus? Is it just +2 for pistols? I think it's +2 for
Oh
pistols.
yeah, you can use a +2 for a pistol for sure. Yeah.
Ooh. That's 18
So far so
on
good.
the 20. 18 on the d20 +2 with dexterity, so that's 20. And then +2
Miss.
for my pistols.
22.
So
So
22.
if you rolled go ahead and roll the d6 for risk.
1.
Okay, so that's gonna you passed with a 21. That's gonna flip flop into a positive, so you got 23, which is gonna blow this guy out of the water as you shoot your. Can you paint us a little word picture of what happens as you shoot your vibrant?
Yeah.
we had,
Is
we had
it
a
is
phrasing check on Chris, so I'm hesitant to say.
my word picture? So this is still the same like sand hand coming down, right?
Yeah, like
At-
on top view.
On top. So Cree has just sort of like recovered and tossed the water jug to the side, having witnessed Dan and Chris's characters do this comedy duo off on the ship over there, and just shaking her head and just like whipped her pistols out, done the little twirl twirl twirl, kind of like spun like her hair a little bit because she's got like maybe a little bit of puke left over, and obviously, you know, it just rained a ton, so she's got like salt crusties and stuff, so she's like just like whipped all of her hair around, her braids are just now thrown back, and she goes, let's do this, I'm done with this ship nonsense, and just like a couple shots straight into the fists coming down, and you see a little bit of a bullet line, but not much because they're not too far away, and then the point of impact, and then there's just like sort of like almost like that matrix, like woom 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 woom, like, and then the sand just kind of like almost like if you've ever seen them make quicksand with vibration, it just kind of like ripples, and then it just like falls out of the air.
Super cool. And dissipates completely, leaving a sandy mess and otherwise a quiet beach.
Oh,
Gone.
that could have gone better.
That are all gone?
How buried am I?
In sand?
It's like kids at the beach spent about 10 minutes, really focused minutes, covering up their parent, kind of.
Oh, I can still get out though. Yeah, with some effort.
Sir Flanagan uses his little arms to try to like pull you out.
Aw,
God, thank you.
he's such a great support.
Thank you, little one.
Well, that's
He's a little,
How's your
little
toe?
under the, like goes for a head pat, sees the hat, and goes for chin scratch.
Zugal, Wolf, how y'all?
Gritty, but otherwise all right.
Wolf?
little miffed, but I'll live.
We can't always have a win.
No,
But it
man,
was a
like
good
the
idea.
scum thing wouldn't have even shot.
I was wondering if there was a bird nest in there, honestly.
The future, I propose we stick together instead of splitting apart. She
Can
sort
I
of
check the
shoots-
cannon for gunpowder?
Oh, sure, yeah. You can see, you can find traces of it. It's been evidently somewhere to the tune of 100 years since this cannon saw any use, and most of it has blown away. But if you were to take a little swab and stick it to your tongue, you could detect the faint traces of it.
Cool.
What were we doing with this ship when we?
wasn't there a
Oh, right, I
glass
saw a
or
bottle over
something?
here.
As you pick up the bottle, you can see this wind is just swirling around, and even outside, kind of billows around you for a moment, and then you're left with just this swirling jar in your hands.
Wolf's gonna jiggle it like snow globe.
Artemis might have learned about it in school. Can I do a roll? Ooh, history check.
Absolutely, make a perception check.
Okay.
I'm
let's
gonna
see.
pick up my water skin again. Just
Oof. I got a 6 plus 2. That's 8.
Okay, minus 12 is a minus 4, so you're going to have faintly recalled, yes, you saw some text and maybe a rudimentary illustration in one of your tomes in your studies, but you can't quite recall the mystery of the jar.
Something about this seems familiar. I can't put my finger on it.
Hold on to it for later.
Yeah, keep it. We keep everything.
Into the
Bottles of
bag of
grease.
trinkets.
Bottles of grease.
And Sir Galdrian climbs up onto the ship and he says, "Well, now that we've dispatched the haunted golems, if you could call them that, shall we continue on?"
Sure.
I mean, we don't really
Yes,
have much of a
vaunted
choice
leader.
at this point, so
And there is a clearing in the sort of somewhat tropical scenery forest that is some inland. And Sir Galdrian forges on ahead, and as you navigate under these through this canopy, this forest canopy, it gives way after a few minutes to this these kind of rocky tunnels. This rocky landscape has little tide pools in it that have like little crustaceans kind of swimming around in them, and eventually you get to the entrance to this tunnel that goes down into the tide pools. And Sir Galdrian is sort of holding his map, and he says, "Well, this appears to be the entrance."
Is there like signage or something that how do we know it's the entrance?
Well, X marks the spot rules, right?
better question. What's the tide situation at right now?
Oh, that is a good question.
Well, you were somewhat delayed with your journey getting out of the port, and as a result, the tide is starting to come in. As you were leaving, you could see that it was beginning to engulf the ship, the sunken ship, almost let's say 3/4 of the way, and but you're good ways inland, and it doesn't seem like there's you have at least 20 or 30 minutes before the tide reaches the tide pools, which from the looks of it happens quite regularly because there's a vast array of biodiversity around you. There's little little crabs and like sea snails and lobsters swimming around in these little pools in the rocks, and this cave is just sort of standing ominously before you.
So you said about 30 minutes before it starts to reach the tide pool.
Yes.
And we're going down into a cave.
Down.
Okay,
Down. It doesn't happen to go up. Upwards into up into the island.
is
Okay,
there any sign?
gang?
Is there any sign in the mouth of this cave? Is there any sign of like a for lack of a better term, a path that water would travel to go into this cave?
Yeah, I mean,
Like how close to the tide pools is it?
well, you walked for about 20 minutes, but it was mostly downhill. The island seems to have this interesting effect where you were going downhill, and the cave is underground, so the water would seem it would seem that you would need to get this done pretty quickly and get out before the water were to fill up the cave, essentially. If any of you are rangery types who are adept at exploring the wilderness and the frontiers, you might be able to get a higher view and see if at any point the grade changes further up ahead.
Nope.
Nope.
Otherwise, it
I'll
seems like we're
s-
going for a speed run.
Nice.
Barbarian-ish type.
I'll say this. Resonetta will cup her hands and start whispering into it just a little bit. And anyone nearby will see these tiny little orbs of light kind of just forming in her hands and just floating around. And I'd like to cast on myself an ability that gives me advantage for a skill check. I'm basically calling upon the Fey spirits to bolster my abilities to give me advantage.
I always get the prickles whenever you say that. I don't know why.
So how that's
prickles
going to
whenever you
work
call in
is
the
when you make
face.
your risky check, if you get a positive result, that result indicates how many checks you're going to have with advantage.
Okay, so I roll the d6.
You roll the
Or-
d20 and the d6, and you can add
Okay.
if you're using a tool or your spellcasting modifier.
All right, this will be charisma. Ooh, I mean, total. So on the d20, I rolled a 9. -1 is 8. On the d6, I rolled a 6. So
So after a few minutes of straining with these crystals, it doesn't seem like you're going to get the magical support that you're hoping for, and you can actually start to see that the water is kind of seeping in behind you guys.
okay.
Okay, gang. Hot take. We wait for the tide cycle because it's already been down here for how long? It can wait one more cycle.
We go now, or we lose forever.
Says what?
How does that
So-
even work? It's not going anywhere.
It's been here for
Well-
how long?
Well, it's possible that the other people who I wrote down the names of are right hot on our tails, and they have soldiers, and a lot of them. So we could be fighting a pitched battle if we wait any longer.
And you can actually hear at that moment some booming noises coming from the direction of the cave, somewhat muffled by its underground nature. But this like horrible scratchy roar kind of emanating from the cave, and the yelling of what sound to be men and women of some sort.
Or we could be too late.
Resonetta will grab if Kree will allow this. Resonetta will grab Kree, put her on her shoulders, piggyback style, so that if the water does run in, at least Kree is above water. Maybe depends on the height. But Resonetta will do that and start not running, but start deliberately moving towards the cave.
I like this mode of transportation better.
And as you do so, there's more boomings and more roarings and more shoutings, and there's this short network of tunnels that you're sort of weaving through, but it doesn't branch too much, and you find your way into this dimly lit chamber, this dome-shaped chamber, and it's illuminated by this bioluminescent algae that's clinging to the walls, and there's this kind of underwater glow refracting over everything. And the floor is a mixture of sand and smooth surfaces, kind of slippery. There's some stalactites looming overhead that are just dripping with this, mineral-rich water. And in the center of the chamber, there is a dwarf who's just clad in this real heavy armor, and he's grasping this battle axe, and he's swinging it at this imposing, like, hermit crab / humanoid kind of hybrid thing that's 7 or 8 feet tall in the middle of this chamber. And he has this kind of shell on his back that's encrusted with coral and barnacles, and it's kind of like refracting some of the oceanic light in the chamber. And he's reaching out with this claw, and he's just like in mid strike with this dwarf. And there's an elven lady providing support with a bow in the corner.
So just for a point of clarification, you would say that this crab-like humanoid creature is shiny.
No.
You might say he is shiny,
Did we attack
like the
the point?
treasure from a sunken pirate wreck.
I had to.
Did we attack the weak point for massive damage?
You can certainly look for a weak point.
Am I
It
still?
is right there.
Am I still on Resonetta's shoulder?
She would allow you to sit there, yeah.
Okay. Can
you
I
wanted.
even see? Am I facing backwards?
Oh no, I said no, I said
Piggyback
piggyback.
style, right?
So
Oh, piggyback. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So your legs are like around her neck, and you're facing kind of above her.
I'm like, ooh, more things I've never seen before. Gross.
I mean, without hesitation, I think Resonetta will charge in.
And what would
Bye.
Resonetta do in this situation?
Seeing. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Seeing.
What are we doing?
I don't know. Resonetta sees an enemy in front of her. She sees a giant creature that is clearly threatening this dwarf and elf. And she's just gonna go in. You know what? She'll go in with her sword drawn and try to block the claw that is coming at the dwarf.
Okay. Make a strength or dexterity check. With disadvantage unless you can somehow justify how Kree is helping you and not getting extremely in your way at this moment.
Kree, you want to chime in?
Being a Dex specialist, I'm probably going to realize this is going to be a fight best not done aback of someone else and do a flip off of Resonetta mid-run. So I get up onto shoulders while she's running, so standing, and then do like a flip, like a backflip off, so that I am doing support from like probably 10 feet away.
Okay,
from the
so
back.
this situation is really interesting because you've kind of have this momentum going for you that makes it a very high charged attack, but also in its own way precarious. So this is this is the inverse of risk. So what you're going to do, Chris, is you're going to make this check. You're going to make your D20 check, and then Kree is going to make her D6 roll. It's going to be positive, and if it fails, then it turns to negative.
Okay. All right.
No pressure.
Let's do this. That is my D20 roll. Okay. Roll is 19, plus a 2 is a 21, plus a 3 for my greatsword is a 24.
There's the rolls you were looking for in the last
Yeah.
fight. Plus 2.
Okay, that's like a 26. So you're just going to...
Yes.
Whatever you were intending to do, let's hear it.
So as Resonetta, I have an idea for Kree, may I say it? So as Kree somersaults off of Resonetta's shoulders, she draws her pistols, shoots the crab claw to throw it off balance a little, which gives Resonetta just enough leverage to swing in front of the dwarf and block the crab claw as it's coming down on her.
Okay. I guess that means I got to roll.
Well, I mean, I thought that would be part of your that would be
Hope.
your
Yeah.
D6 roll.
With a 26, let's say you blocked it pretty solidly, and this creature is very thrown off and staggers back and kind of falls onto this pile of crustacean bones that it perhaps has picked dry, or not as dry as it can be in a wet cave. And the dwarf stumbles back, says, "Who are you?"
We are from the Order of Echoes. We have come to seek the lost cord. Do you require assistance?
If it's the lost cord you've come to claim, you're not going to get it before me. And where the crustacean has lost his footing, you can see that underneath him in this pile of crustacean of other bones is this glimmering harp. And it's like right between you and the dwarf. And it's looking like a short a dive away from being claimed. And the dwarf sees that and drops his battle axe and just dives down.
Artemis casts a spell at him,
Okay.
try to stop him. Like, as he's like mid-dive, he like points and aims for Cyril. Hold on. So, okay, on my D6, I got a 17. and then on the D20 17, and then a 4.
Let's say that's a big D6.
Okay.
Right?
17 and a 4, and then my perception +2 plus staff +4.
She's
Okay,
using
so
that new math.
cancels out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be you're gonna get the advantage for that. 17 plus 4 is 21 plus another that's 25. So what is this magic you're doing?
She casts a lightning spell,
Ooh.
and then
In water?
Yeah, and then
Wait, is there
Oh,
water
Yep.
in here?
Oh yeah, there's lots of water.
okay, that'd be terrible.
Let him
I
ride.
just try
Let
something-
him ride.
Oh, fine. I cast a lightning spell, totally forgetting that there's water around.
It lights
And
up the
then-
whole cave and vaporizes all the bones and the crustacean monster along with it in this terrible roar. And I don't know how you guys are gonna avoid all this lightning, but perhaps this magic is such that you. It was a 26, so maybe it's targeted. I don't know. You can explain how you're willing this into existence here.
So it bounces off the guy who's diving for the lost cord, and it bounces off, and it hits the giant crab monsters, and then it bounces off and shoots up into the ceiling where it dissipates.
Very nice.
Cool.
The
Thank you for saving
stalactites
us.
are starting to, vibrate on the ceiling threateningly after that lightning, and but the bones having been vaporized are leaving the cord quite clear in front of the two who had entered the fray, Kree and Resonetta, and the dwarf is all the way on the other side of the chamber. The elf lady's out of commission too.
Oh, yay. Because I was about to have to take them to task.
I spin
Alright,
my
well.
staff around and blow the smoke off the tip like a god.
All right, well, looks like we can just grab the thing and get to moseying.
What?
Don't I get a thank you?
What? Get
What?
the harp!
The what?
The thing!
Resonetta will walk to the lost cord and pick it up.
The thing!
And it is a beautiful instrument. It's looks like it's made of pure gold, although it is encrusted with 100 years of debris. But it looks like with some careful restoration, this could be an artifact of great power. And it's sort of humming faintly in this chord. There's three chords that look silvery against the gold, and
Yeah.
as you pick it up, the water from the entrance of the cave starts pouring in, and quickly goes up to your ankles.
Yep.
Right,
Natalie.
time to go.
So all I'm hearing is we could have just waited out and let those guys drown.
That's lovely, but right here's a good place not to be.
Well,
Wait,
Wolf's
wasn't
still
there
leaving,
an
but
elven
he's
archer?
There is an elven archer and a dwarf that are kind of just like twitching and paralyzed, like
Oh.
stasis in the corner.
And I think it's going to take me again mentioning that as members of the Order, it would probably behoove us to make sure that we don't let anybody die unnecessarily, because then it would probably be upon our heads and blah, 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 and our bosses would be mad at us, and we should
We
take
could
them
just
to
pretend
justice.
we didn't see them.
She's talking about it. Right. Grab the dwarf.
Please and thank
like-
you.
Like, pick up the dwarf.
Sir Galdrian will probably be proud of us, because he is standing right
He's in the
there.
cave. He's responsible.
He is standing right there.
He picks up the elven lady who
Thank
was
you.
noticeably omitted from this narrative, and
Oh, because when my lightning bounced off the dwarf onto the crowd, then the elf, and then the ceiling.
I hope they're
A
alive.
perfect 3-point shot.
pinball. And
I'm not
this-
carrying one of them.
No, there's only two.
Oh, he's carrying both of them.
No, Galdrian's carrying carrying the lady. We got.
Wait, who's carrying the dwarf?
Me.
Gotcha.
And Sir Galdrian hoofs it out of the cave. He's like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting out of here. Take the cord.
Oh, and it's a fireman's carry.
Nice.
Oh yeah, take the cord. I was thinking of just leaving it here.
Well, Resinette's got the cord in hand, and she'll just scoop up Kree for good measure as well, and just race it out.
I debated
Where's
on whether it would be fireman's or bridal, and did fireman's.
And you just happen to outrun the. It's a bit of an uphill climb to get, especially with the water kind of pouring in, and it's a quite a miserable experience. But you get out of the cave without slipping too badly, back onto the beach, and your ship is completely waterlogged, having
no.
been
Aw.
misdiagnosed somewhat some hours before, and doesn't look like it's getting anywhere fast.
Well, that sucks.
Now we have time to wait for the
Ah,
tide to go out.
You said waterlogged, so there was some hull damage.
The hull damage turns out to have been worse than you thought of, and the lower deck is completely flooded. In its current,
Do we have food?
In its current normal state, it's unclear as to whether or not you would be able to get it working again. And as you sort of spend some time examining the ship, the jar in Dan's character's pack begins to kind of just shake and vibrate a bit. and some
oh,
wind
what
starts to
now?
Funky.
He's gonna reach into his bag of trinkets and pull it out.
The wind is just like really starting to swirl, and around you this big gust of wind swoops up and against your clothes, and it's clear that whatever's in this jar wants to come out, and seems amicable to your presence somehow, as if it wants to help you.
I got a genie, y'all.
Does it have a lid?
It has a lid. It has.
I was gonna say, does it have a lid, or am I just gonna have to smash it against the ground?
Yeah, and I'm gonna have you make a perception check on the jar.
All right. It's like dice. That's a 13, and I do have the whatchamacallit,
The whatchamacallit?
the
Modifier?
+2. I'm forgetting how to word.
As you go to open the jar, it occurs to you right at the last second that you should probably something's telling you to do so while you're all on the ship.
Oh.
So we should get on the
Oh.
ship?
Yeah, get on the boat. Boat.
What? I'm sorry.
It was pretty straightforward. Boat. I don't know what you want from me.
Speak words.
Boat. You. Boat. On boat. Now. Go boat.
I thought we had time. Ugh, I had to get right back on the boat. We just got off the boat. Fine.
Well, if you want to stay here, be my guest.
You're mumbling all that. Well, on the plus side, you got an empty stomach.
I hate it when you're right.
Artemis is unbothered by all of this and just walks silently to the ship,
Right.
minding her own business.
See, I grow on people. You just have to get used to me.
Okay.
All right, we're on the boat. What do you want with us? This half-keeled over, sinking into the
It's not going to
surf.
sink any more than it already has. It's already on the bottom. I'm going to pop the jar.
The wind
Right.
immediately bursts out and rises up and fills the sails, and the ship just like shoots off of its keel, and enters this shallow bay, and then before you know it, you're off past the cliffs through this mist, and you're just flying at the supernatural speed that brings you back to the ports of Hablaria, and sort of with too much momentum, and you sort of dash into the dock, and these human sailors have to like jump out of the way, and some of them fall in the water, and it's this big ordeal. And
I've just been clinging on to Resinetta's like leg this entire time.
And Sir Flanagan is like grabbing onto Artemis, one hand on Artemis' shoulder, the other hand grabbing his hat, and he's just like, ooh, on top.
Sir Galdrian says, "I hope everyone's all right."
Never Again.
I agree.
Oh, that went well.
Fine, well.
We're alive. Ooh, I'm picking up your accent.
Yes, it comes and goes sometimes.
Well, that was an adventure. I had a swell time.
And
Can we go give this to the farmer now?
Why did you need this again?
Peace and true love and all that.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, here's the...
Well, as
Who
you,
has it again?
as you make your way back to the temple, the farmer is waiting on the podium and the platform, and he's standing with this elven lady who you recognize as the voice weaver of Ablaria. She's higher ranking than a Resonite, and
Fancy.
she's this very regal elven lady. And she walks up to Resonetta as Resonetta's descending into the amphitheater, and says, "So I see you've been successful in your quest."
Oh, can something else happen first? Since we all just like got blown, all our clothes and like hair is a mess, and she just like, what happened to you guys?
Very reasonable, yeah. She looks at this disheveled like mess of a party that's descending down the amphitheater. She says, "Well, normally there's a dress code at these kinds of council meetings, but I think we can make an exception."
Special delivery. You want it or not?
We have retrieved the lost cord.
And may I see it? We're going to use it, put it to good use, resolving this dispute at Sablewood.
Yeah, Resonetta will hand it over. Her grip on it is a little tight, but she gives it up willingly enough.
Thank you. And she goes on to espouse the benefits of teamwork and cooperation and love and what was the other one? Cree?
Friendship or something, I don't know.
Was it love and friendship? With love and friendship.
Sure.
And
Sure.
and gives you each
Sure.
a comb for your hair and
I need
20 gold pieces. Which, if you
Ooh,
want to spend
yeah.
some time thinking about what your characters would buy, daydream a little bit, you can let me know at the next session or whenever.
How much gunpowder can I buy for 20 gold?
For 20 gold would like enough to probably last you several months.
I can get
Cool.
more flash bombs. Yes.
Is
I
this
didn't
all?
Yeah, or
we
one
almost
really,
died.
really, really big bomb.
And you each also get to add a +1 modifier to any of your 4 skills. And I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the session there.
Yippee!
That was super fun. This is a wild ride, y'all.
I do enjoy me some roleplay.
Good.
Like I have said it before, and I will say it again for anybody in this line of work that wants to get better at character work, whether it be voices, whether it be understanding a character, whether it be getting into the head of the character and figuring out what they think. Do tabletop roleplay. It is the most fun yes and you will have.
Very true. Very true.
Thank you for leading us on that journey, Austin.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Of course. And so, like I said, the plan is to do this once a month. We don't have all the dates for the upcoming months. We're still putting together our 2025 calendar, but I'll give you a link to the page where they will be. And just keep an eye on I assume that all of you are subscribed to the mailing list. Keep an eye on your emails because we'll be announcing our schedule soon. But it'll probably be in 4 weeks on a Tuesday.
I do have one question.
Yes.
Do I have to get the $20 payment every single time, or is it just a one-time thing?
So you can pay $20 for your ticket, or if you're a Samurai Sound member, you can play for free as part of your. Voice
I'm still debating whether I want to spend $400 on it.
Yes. If you decide that it is for you, it's a very quick way to get all your ducks in a row for your voice acting.
I'm
career.
probably going to grab a few more community streams before I make the final decision.
No worries. I'll
Yeah.
give you a link to the membership page if you want to check it out.
I know where it is.
And then you may not have our consultation link, which I said I would provide. You can talk to us about your demo reel if any of you need to update your demo reels. You can talk to us about how to make the most out of a membership or even private training. Raj, the owner of Samurai Sound, and I are offering private
Oh,
training.
I've met him.
Good. I can teach you, we can practice scripts together. I can teach you anything you want to know about role-playing, designing adventures, music production, voice acting. You get monthly sessions with us. Just wanted to let you know that we offer that as part of our premium membership. Some of you might know that. So, any questions about that? All those links are in the chat.
Cool. So many links.
Lots of links, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, that first one is the live role play events. I didn't really need to add that in because you'll get those in your email. And the membership page is the second one, and then if you want to book a consultation, that's the third.
Nice.
What was I gonna say? I know that some of you have some things we were talking about, some plugs that we want to plug. So please, now is the time.
Oh, I mean, it's just IMDb.
Yeah, show off. Show off.
I've put together a website, rough draft, but basically a website where I showcase all my voiceover stuff. It's sorry, I'm typing it in chat. It's my name, chrissitojovo.com. For anyone listening, it's Chris, S as in Sam, Z as in Zebra, ETO, V as in voice, O.com. That's just where I made that recently. I want to use that in marketing, let people know what I do. I have a Twitter at Citojo, CPW. I have a TikTok at CitojoVA. Put a lot of stuff there.
Very cool. I'm opening up your website.
Yeah.
I'm going to open up all these links as they come because once the session ends, we're not going to have access to them. And you mentioned the people watching the stream. There's a couple of people watching on YouTube. There's a couple of people watching on Twitch. And many people have come in and out. It's hard for me to focus on all that at the same time. So inevitably the stream kind of falls to the wayside, but there are people watching and listening. So
I found you on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that like nanny nanny boo boo. Yeah, I followed you. Okay, great. Now it's done. Cool.
Was this consultation? Or is this just if you want to do book that?
if you want to talk to us about any of our services, if you want to kickstart your voice acting career with our membership, if you want access to private training, if you want us to produce your demo reel or update your demo reel, yeah, just come talk to us. We are here to help you in any way we can.
Congrats on the website, Chris, by the way. That's a big step.
Thank you. It's first website, so it'll probably change, but I just wanted to get something out there for marketing.
The
Man,
step
he
is a step.
splurged for a .com domain.
No, it's a big move when you finally do the .com instead of like hosted by something else. So
And speaking of all of that, at the beginning of this, I mentioned the Audioverse Award for The Thing. That is a little podcast that I did called Omen. I think it's Omen, a fantasy drama, or a fantasy audio drama. It's available on like Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, that sort of thing. The website in the chat is omencast.com. Right there also is my Twitter, which is at Voice of Cheese CE. Long story on that one.
Long story on that particular handle.
And my website also, einsparvoices.com.
found you.
Was that who now? What who?
I found you. Your
Yep.
Twitter.
I'm pretty easy to find.
Voice of Cheese CE is no numbers included.
Nope. that is it right there.
Cool beans. Awesome.
Yep.
Thanks for everybody sharing everything.
I on the social medias, I normally post like voice acting / geeky stuff because,
Yep.
you know, I like to consider myself a jack of all geeks, master of none. I know a little bit about every single geeky subject under the sun, including the sun itself.
I feel a little out of place here. I don't have any links to share.
One day,
If
we will
you've
be
got
here
a
for them
social
when you
media
do.
that you want to plug and get out there, that counts. Like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, feckin' TikTok. I also have a TikTok.
I am a
Also-
wildly anti-social media person. I have
That's
a Google
okay.
Gmail, and that's about it.
There is a
Also-
reason I did not share my social medias, although I'm following people.
Right. I am also on TikTok. That is also Einspar Voices. Einspar is spelled EI, N as in Nick, SP is in Peter, AHR. You can tell I've had to do that a lot.
All right, good. Thanks for sharing your links. Thank you for participating. Thank you for if you have any feedback for me or what do you want to hear more in what do you want to participate more in the future, let me know. Laura sent me a nice note a couple of days after the last session, which gave me a lot to think about, was super helpful. So I always appreciate that. Make sure you're subscribed to our emails. We're going to be sending out the schedule for the upcoming community hubs and the roleplay events and our workshops for 2025. We've got some exciting stuff on the horizon. And again, thank you all for joining.
Of course.
Thank you for
This was
hosting.
lovely.
Likewise, it was a pleasure, everyone.
I enjoyed myself quite a bit.
Well, good.
Have a
Sir
wonderful night.
Flanagan had a good time.
Also good.
Thank you for so
I
again.
enjoyed Mr. Flanagan's time as well.
And his little bow tie.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Happy holidays for any who
Goodbye.
celebrate. Thank you. Bye.